Hello and welcome to the highlights of the 750 Motor Club race meeting at Rockingham. The Corby Speed Bowl may have been open for more than a decade now, but it is the first time that the 750 Motor Club has sampled the layout. The 2.05 mile International Super Sports Car Circuit will therefore be a new challenge to the majority of the drivers. Coming up, action from Formula V, all comers, 750 Formula and 750 Trophy. But first, it's time for the second race of the weekend from the Sports Specials Championship. Before the action, Matt Suckling caught up with a couple of the lady drivers.
Okay, we've got Bridget Smart down here. Bridget, you're racing in the Sports Specials. You were out yesterday with some action. How did it go for you first off?
Not too bad. I qualified 10th, which is my best qualifying, and it's only my 5th race, so really pleased. And then unfortunately, driver error, I spun on the first corner.
Well, we'll put that behind you now. You've got another race to come today. What's it like racing in the Sports Specials with the Silver Phoenix?
Fantastic. Myself and my partner Martin Buckland, we know about 8 people, and it's a real social group and quite competitive, but great fun, and thoroughly enjoying it. So.
And normally with motorsport it's kind of a man's game, but what's it like from a female's perspective?
It's quite good. The women marshals just love it, and they really sort of egg us on, which is great. A friend of mine, Leslie, races as well, so it's we're the minority, but we're enjoying it. So.
Now the race today, what are you going to try and hope for? You're going to get inside the top 10?
Hope so. I've qualified 12th, so yeah, I'd like to push up a couple of places, but we'll see what happens.
Well, good luck for the race, and we'll keep an eye out for the red car.
Thank you very much.
Leslie Wilson from the Sports Specials. You've got an immaculately turned out car. What's it like to drive?
It's actually a very good car indeed. It's mid-engined and it's twin chain drive, and it's very well balanced, and so it's quite forgiving. It's I would say I don't get the best out of the car. I haven't learned to drive it fast enough yet, but actually of all the cars I've driven on the racetrack, this one gives me the most confidence.
And what first attracted you to the championship?
I started racing in what was then the kit cars about 20 years ago. And what attracted me, I suppose, was the fact that I had a kit car available to me at the time. And we've just stuck with it through the years, mostly because of the challenge of building and maintaining your own car. I mean, I've been fortunate that I've had people to do that for me, although I do get involved in the maintenance to some degree. But also the camaraderie in what was the kits and is now the Sports Specials. Throughout the years, different people have come and gone, but it's always remained a really friendly series to race in. And the cars are fun.
You had your first run out yesterday here at Rockingham. Is it your first time, and how did it kind of go?
Well, we were here testing on Friday. We came here on Friday to test, to learn our way around the circuit because we hadn't been here before. I qualified pretty poorly yesterday, actually, I have to say. Didn't really get to grips with the circuit. And I didn't get to start the race, sadly, because my car wouldn't start. So I'm going to be doing my first race here later on this morning, and I'm looking forward to it. I've had a chance to think about what I wasn't quite getting to grips with during qualifying, and ready to go out there and use the throttle a bit more.
Well, it's onwards and upwards now. Good luck for the race, Leslie, and thanks for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, yesterday pole position man Clive Hudson had mechanical problems that dropped him right back down the order, but he's here to take up his pole position again today. And in fact, he's an Eclipse 1, 2, 3 on the grid, with Paul Boyd alongside him on the front row, and last year's Class B champion on the inside of row 2. That's David Caldercourt next to the championship leader so far this year, Rob Johnston. The race gets underway then, and it's a very good start from the orange Eclipse there. That's Charles Sterling, car number 67. He goes past Rob Johnston there. Wayne Rothwell also ahead of Johnston as well. That's Nigel Brown in the white and blue number 4 car. He makes a good start as well as they head through turn 1 and down towards Dean Hairpin for the first time. It's Paul Boyd though that leads. The pole position man Clive Hudson has dropped back to 3rd position as we go on board with Patrick Mortel in the Rogue Xenon, one of the Class C cars. Missed gear there from Patrick Mortel. He loses out to Nigel Brown, but Brown is in one of the Class A cars. And as is a regular feature of the Sports Specials Championship, the cars joined on the grid again this weekend by cars from the SR and GT series. Yesterday you could just see that green Allard replica in the background. There it is again. That was John Plant. He was on the podium, 2nd overall in yesterday's 4-lap sprint, reduced after a red flag intervention. But there's the number 76 Rogue Xenon of Patrick Mortel, much more effective through the twisty parts of the circuit than on this long straight here at Rockingham. There's one flat out blast from turn 4 all the way up to Dean Hairpin, but the rest of it is very technical indeed, and that suits the less powerful Rogue Xenon with its Toyota MR2 running gear. There goes Rob Johnson trying to make a place around the outside of Clive Hudson for third position there. Switches to the inside on the exit of Tarzan Hairpin. Can't make that work though, and look, the top two are getting away. It's Paul Boyd that leads, David Caldercourt is second, Clive Hudson third, Rob Johnston fourth, then Wayne Rothwell is in fifth position. He's the Class C Championship leader and second overall in the points coming into this weekend. Class A is for Duratec engined cars, Class B for Zetec engined cars, and Class C for pretty much anything else within reason, providing it's a two-seater sports special type car. And there you can see the power of that green Allard replica with its 7-litre engine. That's John Plant there. He makes up a place on Nigel Brown, but he really does struggle through the technical parts of the circuit. Let's see if Brown can come back to him as they go into Dean Hairpin. Much more effective on the brakes is the little kit car of Nigel Brown at number 4, but up ahead there's a problem, and it's a spin for the race leader. Paul Boyd has gone off. The yellow eclipse there on the right hand side of the circuit on the grass is dropping way down the order now. Can he get going again? That's the question. That means that David Caldercourt is promoted into the lead, and that now is the battle for second, as on the inset there you can see that Paul Boyd has now got away and is turning through Yentwood Corner, but the race leader there with a dramatic moment. We didn't see how that started, but it did seem to be all on his own. So Caldercourt it is now that leads. This is the Ford GT40 replica of Mark Bowd. Also you've got the low cost there, number 81, which is Lewis Dallas from Cudross in Glasgow, and this is a car that has been fitted with an 1800cc Zetec engine to race within the sports specials this year. He also raced it with the Scottish Motor Racing Club and the RAF MSA as well. Back on board with Patrick Mortel, and that's Paul Boyd up ahead now, isn't it? After his moment, doing his best to recover, the former race leader. How far back up the order can he get, I wonder? Outside the top 10 certainly after that moment. And there's Charles Sterling at Kirby having a look up the inside of Wayne Rothwell, and he goes through for position. So Eclipse makes up a place there. Charles Sterling getting ahead of the Class C car as a retirement. That looks like the Leighton Norris Rogue Xenon, the teammate to Patrick Mortel. And now it's Wayne Rothwell being attacked by John Plant in that Allard replica. Mightily powerful machine. Turning his way out of Tarzan Hairpin onto the school straight. There's the number 38 car of Brigitte Smart, who we heard from at the beginning of the programme. Qualified pretty well here this weekend. She's from Somerton in Somerset, and she's an animal commission artist. That's what she does for a living. She's just ahead there of Lewis Dallas now, just behind that Ford GT40 replica of Mark Bowd as they turn their way into the chicane. Well, this is the battle for the lead of Class B, and Marcus Roskill is swooping ahead there in the number 44 car, taking the lead away from the Class B Championship leader Colin Benham, who fights back now in the purple STM Phoenix, but no, it looks like Marcus Roskill has got that move done down at Dean Hairpin. He takes the lead of Class B. It's for 8th and 9th positions overall. And look, because Patrick Mortel in his Class C Rogue Xenon is starting to join in with them as well. Look at the speed he carried through Yentwood there, got right onto the rear of them, then looked like possibly had struggles finding a gear there, just dropped back a little bit, now through Chapman Curve, and piff-paff they go. But it's going to be a 3-car fight here then for 8th, 9th and 10th position, with Marcus Roskill at the head of that, 46 years of age, but in his first season of racing. And that green Silver Phoenix is the car that was built by Clive Hudson 25 years ago now, originally as a road car. The last few seasons it's been owned by Martin Buckland, but let's watch the battle as the Mortel car tries to go around the outside of both of them at Tarzan Hairpin. Does he make it work? Not yet, but he's going to switch to the inside on the way out of the corner. It's the rear Preston, he's got past at least one of them. Mortel is going to try and get past another one now as they head their way along the school straight. This is where the Class B cars might just have the edge in terms of power though. And Mortel unable to get fully alongside Colin Benham down the straights, and Benham therefore just able to elbow mortal aside, he drops back to 10th position. John Plant there, ahead now of Wayne Rothwell in his Tiger GTA, but of course John Plant, one of the SR and GT runners, rather than one of the sports special drivers. Oh, a spinner! And that's the race leader, David Caldercourt, has had a spin up at the hairpin. And that means now that it's Clive Hudson, therefore, that has taken the lead of the race, but there is Caldercourt, number 34, waits for a gap in the traffic, gets going again, and he has dropped quite a long way down the order as well. Had a bit of a drama-packed race yesterday with a couple of moments as well, before eventually coming to finish third in the restarted race behind Paul Boyd and John Plant. Well, here's this Mark Bowd and Bridget Smart battle. Bridget Smart having a look at the inside there at Yentwood. The last lap board has now gone out. So on to the final couple of miles of racing. That's the Leslie Wilson car going through shot, ahead of the Tadek of Martin Timon, but here then is the race leader, and that is Clive Hudson. Well, he's rather fallen into his lap really, because spins, as far as we could see, unforced for both of the two race leaders during the course of that one. First, Paul Boyd coming out of Dean Hairpin on the way towards Yentwood, and then at Tarzan for David Caldercourt a few laps later. It's Hudson that's leading, it's Johnston in second place, then third is John Plant. Wayne Rothwell there is in fourth position, an excellent performance from him in the Tiger GTA. But out of Brook Chicane and onto the banking once more goes Clive Hudson. The checkered flag is made ready, and for Clive Hudson it is going to be his second win of the season, to go with the one he had at Donington Park as far as Class A is concerned. Rob Johnston takes second place overall, John Plant is third, and in fourth position it's Wayne Rothwell. Charles Sterling crosses the line in fifth, and Paul Boyd in the end comes back to sixth position. This is the battle for Class B. It's changed around since we last saw it, because Colin Benham has got back ahead of Marcus Roskill now. They're turning their way onto the banking. Is there one last run to the line that Marcus Roskill can have? No, there's not, of course. So it's going to be Colin Benham who indicates his delight at having a very good battle for the Class B lead. He finishes in 8th overall. Still Mark Bowd ahead of Bridget Smart in the number 38 car. She's had a great little dice. She's going to come home, I think, in the end in 15th position overall, but that will be 12th of the Sports Specials cars, and she'll actually be 4th place within Class B as well. Taking a look at the results then, well, John Plant was actually penalised for passing under yellow flags, so that moves Wayne Rothwell up into the top 3 in his Class C car, behind Clive Hudson and Rob Johnston. Charles Sterling 4th, Paul Boyd came back to 5th, David Caldercourt, by the way, finished 11th in the end.
Clive Hudson, race victor in that one. A little bit of a better day for you today in that race.
Much improved, yeah. I didn't have the mechanical issues I had in the first race, but yeah, it went really quite well, apart from a start, which I messed up.
And you had a few spinners in front of you, but you definitely had the pace to win that race.
It's hard to say whether I would have had the pace. Those guys are very good at racing, good at defending, and I know they were feeling the pressure, but yeah, it would have been a good race if they hadn't felt too much pressure and fallen off.
And you're the man holding on to this number 1 spot, because you are reigning champion from last year.
I am. I'm not leading the championship at the moment. I think Rob in second place is leading the championship, but it's all to play for still.
Well done on the victory, Clive.
Thank you.
Join us again after the break when we turn our attention to Formula V.